Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. I'm going to play a couple of videos. I'll start in just a second. I need to give you a trigger warning. This is a very harrowing situation. A plane crash has occurred in Nepal. The specific site is Pokhara, close to a new airport. And we're going to play a couple of videos. One of the videos, the first one that we'll see in just a quick second, is moments before the crash. We're even going to hear the impact of the crash. Then we're going to see some videos showing the aftermath and rescue attempts. It's been confirmed that at least 44 people have been killed, and that number is seemingly going to rise. 72 passengers. I'm going to say that as far as we understand, the plane crashed into a gorge, into the side of a hill. So my take on that is that there wouldn't be any or many bystanders. Well, that's my hope. I mean, that could be incredibly wrong, but I'm going to start off by playing some videos. And as I say, I need to give you a trigger warning. This is moments before the crash. And as I say, we heard the impact there. We heard the impact. I'm going to have a look at a couple of pictures of the site. So it's 72 people were on board. The plane is 15 years old, which isn't that old, would be my take on it. I'm no aviation expert. It's not that old. However, Nepal does have a very bad safety record in regards to aviation. Further to that, apparently Nepal, the weather conditions change very rapidly. I don't know if that's a factor in this crash. I'm going to guess, and it's a bit of a nonsense guess, I'm going to guess that that isn't a factor, because it does seem, you know, in the pictures that we see, in the short video that we saw, weather doesn't strike me as being an influence, but of course, what do I know? Here is the type of plane. 15 years old, not that old. Run by a carrier called Yeti Airlines. They have 6 planes of this type. And by the way, they're all banned from Europe. Europe doesn't allow any Nepalese airliners to fly in across any European country in European airspace because of the lack of safety. So we're going to watch this video of the aftermath of the rescue operation. I might keep the volume a little low whilst I tell you a little bit more. So at least 44 people were killed today when a domestic flight crashed into a gorge whilst landing at a newly opened airport in the central rural town of Pokhara. So it is mentioned that it is difficult to land planes in Nepal because of the hills, the mountains in the area. The maneuvers that the pilots have to do are particularly tricky, and there have been a number of plane crashes over the years. Harrowing footage showed the plane moments before the disaster. Hundreds of rescue workers continued to scour the hillside site where the plane crashed. It was flying from Kathmandu in Nepal. Rescue operations are still active. 72 people were on the twin-engine ATR-72 aircraft operated by Yeti Airlines. The passengers include 2 infants, 4 crew members, 5 Indians, 4 Russians, 1 Irish, 2 South Koreans, 1 Australian, 1 French, 1 Argentinian. So the plane is widely used. It's a twin-engine turboprop plane manufactured by a joint venture between Airbus and Italy's Leonardo. So, you know, it's a bona fide airplane. There's nothing wrong with the airplanes as far as I understand. Air accidents are not uncommon in Nepal. Okay, so I think they might be might have found somebody there. I don't know. Perhaps I got that wrong. Air accidents are not uncommon in Nepal, home to 8 of the world's 14 highest mountains, including Everest, as the weather can change suddenly and make for hazardous conditions. Maybe that's what's happened. Maybe there was a weather change. But, you know, from my point of view as a complete layman, could be incredibly wrong. This is probably an ignorant statement that I'm about to make, but the weather looks very fine to me. I mean, there's no severe weather that I'm able to identify, but you know, what do I know? Nepal's air industry has been plagued by poor safety due to insufficient training and maintenance. The European Union has banned all Nepali carriers from its airspace over safety concerns. The Himalayan country, Nepal, also has some of the world's most remote and tricky runways, flanked by snow-capped peaks with approaches that pose a challenge for accomplished pilots. So again, this was an internal flight from the capital of Nepal, Kathmandu, to an area called Pokhara, and it's a new airport. So maybe that's what's to blame here. Perhaps the pilots didn't, weren't experienced in landing at this airport. Perhaps it's particularly tricky maneuvers are required due to the mountainous areas. But of course, I'm just speculating there. So again, 44 bodies have been recovered at this point. 72 passengers. Again, I'm repeating myself, but one blessing, I think, is that it crashed into a hillside. It avoided the urban areas. So maybe we have to thank the pilots for that. Maybe it isn't due to the pilots. Maybe the pilots were still trying to keep the plane up. But perhaps they realized that they were losing control and specifically veered for a hillside as opposed to crashing into an urban residential area. That's really all the details. So I'm going to wrap things up at this point. Take care.